I'm a broke college student just trying to survive my second year of college, when my computer decided to break down on me the week before an important project was due. So, I did what any broke college student would do and looked on Craigslist for a new laptop, and I wish I hadn't. I was able to get in touch with an anonymous seller, selling his old MacBook Air for a fairly reasonable price. We didn't talk much. I just PayPal'd him and he sent it over in 2 days. Upon receiving the computer, I noticed it was in perfect shape. It looked almost entirely brand new. A few days of working went by and nothing out of the ordinary happened. I wish I could say that everything went fine, but one night, as I was laying in bed unable to sleep, I decided to finish up the project. But I got a message notification on the laptop through a messenger app. Whoever previously owned the computer forgot to log out. But that wasn't the scary part. The unsettling part was the contents of the message itself. "Did you remove the files?" I should have left it alone, but my curiosity got the best of me. I tapped on the message and was immediately shown a long thread of messages between the old user and what I'm guessing is his best friend. The more I read up, the more frightened I became. "I'm going to sell the computer." "Why? It has all the stuff on it. Where will you store it?" "I don't know. I'll just store it on a hard drive. This is evidence." "You said you weren't scared of being caught." "I know what I said. I'm just being smart. I have to go. We'll talk to you later." And that was that. I should have closed the computer and gotten rid of it, but I couldn't stop. I scrolled to the Files app and clicked on it. Besides my project's materials, everything looked fine. That was, at least, until I reached the bottom. There was a folder titled 0, and, like the idiot I was, I clicked on it. There were videos of what I'm guessing are the previous owner and his friend going around and robbing, mugging, and even planning their crimes so they wouldn't forget. And more. I knew what I had to do. I grabbed my phone and started to dial 911, but before I could press the call button, I noticed the green light flashing above my screen. My camera was on. I must have been added to some kind of call by accident, because there was noise on the other end of the screen. "Go on," said the voice that came through it. "Call the police." I felt my stomach sink. I didn't say anything back. I wanted to pretend that this wasn't happening at all. "We can do this 2 ways," they continued. "You keep quiet about what we're doing, and we will let you live. You snitch? Oh well." I didn't respond, but the green light went out. I just slammed my computer shut and decided to call the police anyway. I don't know what happened, or if anyone was caught, but whenever I'm in my dorm, I can't help but feel that someone is watching me. I'm a 19-year-old college student, and I was looking for a room to rent near my college. It's about an hour away from my family, and I wasn't having much luck. So my mom started helping me look for a place. She found an ad on Craigslist for a room for $300 in a house. The homeowner was a middle-aged man, and he rented the additional rooms upstairs to other women while he lived in the finished basement. The ad stated he rarely ever saw the other roommates because he had a kitchen in his own entrance downstairs, and that he preferred women because he had issues with male roommates in the past partying and causing damage. We decided to take a look since it was the cheapest place we could find in the area. My mom and I went to the house to view it. He opened the door and was very welcoming. The kitchen and living room were furnished nicely and clean. He then led us upstairs and showed us all the rooms in which the doors were open and said they were currently being rented. He then starts telling us elaborate stories about the other women. Not very nice stories describing drinking problems. My mom was listening intently, but I took the time to investigate further. I looked in all 3 rooms and the bathrooms. There was furniture, but not a single item in there that looked like it belonged to a woman. No clothes or anything. Only men's clothes in one of the closets. He had no problem with me creeping around in his tenants' rooms without their permission. I then heard him tell my mom that he has some of his stuff in their closets, but they don't mind. I was confused. Why the hell would a tenant pay you for you to use their space as storage? I was feeling really uncomfortable. He then said he would show me my room, thinking it was upstairs with all the other roommates since that's what he said on the phone. But he took us down to the basement and opened a door to a very small room. No closet and no windows. He proceeded to say this is my room and that I'll be sharing the bathroom in the hallway with him. And his bedroom did not have a door on it. I was ready to get the hell out of there, but they were so deep in conversation that I couldn't interject. He then says to me that I should come by the next week and have dinner with him and the roommates to see if we would all get along. I said sure in a very nervous voice and we left. As soon as we got in the car, I told my mom I would definitely not be living there. She was dumbfounded. I had to explain to her not only did he lie about the room I would be in, that I was not supposed to be in the basement with him as well as share a bathroom with him, and he didn't even have a damn door. But also, did she not notice how no one else even lived there? She still didn't get it, and thought I was just being paranoid, and thought he was nice and it was a cheap deal. I tried to report the post, but by the time we got home that day, he removed it. I think he planned on seriously hurting me at dinner, or holding me hostage in that basement room that had no way to escape. Who knows what would have happened if I had taken that deal and had dinner with him. I'm not a flashy person by any means. I've never wanted to have the latest iPhone. But my brother Peter was the complete opposite. New iPhone gets revealed, he'd get it. Sadly, he passed away last year. He was found in his apartment. Police said he unalived himself. I still to this day can't think of something more out of character for him to do. A year passed and I needed a new phone, as my old phone broke at work. There was a 2018 iPhone XS, silver sealed in box for $200, listing on Craigslist. I almost thought it was a scam. No profile picture, no previous sales, or seller feedback, nothing. A part of me wanted to head back to my search, but the chance of getting a near brand new iPhone was too enticing. Hi, I was wondering if you could tell me why you're selling. I'm looking for an upgrade and this is a great deal. I felt a bit apprehensive, half expecting to get a link to a scamming website rather than an actual response. In a matter of seconds, I got a response. That's great to hear. I bought the phone from my local Best Buy last year for my girlfriend at the time. But on the same day, I found out she was cheating on me with my best friend. I had every intention of reselling before the new ones arrived, but I instead left it in a drawer in my kitchen. Despite the circumstances, it seemed as though this was going to pan out to be an amazing deal. I couldn't have been more wrong. I quickly navigated back to the listing, clicked the Buy It Now button, and began my wait. Roughly 3 days later, my package arrived. I felt like a kid on Christmas. Having saved big on a fairly new iPhone, I couldn't wait to rip the box open and reveal my brand new phone. Maybe my brother was right to have only bought new. Peeling the plastic off the box, sliding off the vacuum-sealed top, and even taking off the screen rear protector on the phone, it felt like $1,000,000. Just simply holding the phone caused butterflies in my stomach, whilst closely looking at every little detail. I almost forgot to turn it on. And I wish I never did. Now I know I said how dated I am, but I know what setting up a new iPhone is like. Rather than being greeted with the usual hello language cycle, I got a lock screen. The wallpaper was a gorgeous autumn landscape, one I found a bit too familiar. During fall, my whole family would swim in the lake, and the entire world around you looked covered in tones of red, orange, yellow, and the occasional green peeking behind the leaves that lined the grass. My brother and I had returned periodically throughout the years, admiring the Auburn landscape, a landscape which was now staring back at me from the screen of my new iPhone. As I mentioned earlier, my brother kept nothing to himself, meaning I knew almost any password he had. 1958. I clicked each number with my now quivering hand. As the apps glided into place, my heart began to race, my mind reeling with questions. Just as any other grieving sibling who just found their dead brother's phone, I opened messages. Where are you? Are you okay? You better not be dead. Hundreds of texts on and in the days following his death, all now labeled as the last thing they texted him. The question of how all this was happening quickly left my mind, along with every other organ in my body, after I read the text he received on the day he died. You son of a bitch. You're going to pay for what you did. You will never escape me. Don't you realize you are mine, forever and always? It seemed as though I was on a never-ending path of feeling like everything I knew was a lie. You think you can just run from us? We're always watching, in your windows, across the street, at the other end of the aisle. You will never escape. You'll hear the bells ringing out during your final moments, celebrating the meager life you once lived. The bells are coming, Peter. The end is near. Everything I worked to move on from, remembering my brother for the friend he was in my times of need, instead of a secretive, suicidal loner, had shattered right before my eyes. Peter had been murdered. Every part of me wants to continue to dig deeper into all of this and uncover the truth of Peter's death. But I don't have very much time left either. They're here. I hear them. I hear the bells.